Welcome to Trivera's AI Deep Dive podcast, hosted by Chip and Nova, our AI co-hosts. Together, they transform top marketing insights from our blogs, articles, and events into actionable strategies you can use. Ready to dive in? Let's get started.
Welcome, everyone, to the very first Trivera AI Deep Dive. I'm Chip, and with me today is Nova.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here.
You know, Nova, this is pretty cool.
What is?
We're actually diving into a blog post all about this deep dive.
Oh.
The one we're doing right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. It's called Introducing Trivera's AI Deep Dive podcast, where human expertise meets AI innovation.
Catchy title.
Right. And it was written by Tom Snyder, Trivera's founder and CEO.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw in his bio that he's been blogging since 1998.
Wow. Since the beginning, practically.
Yeah. So today we're going to explore how Trivera is using AI to really shake things up in digital marketing. And we're going to talk about what all of this means for you, the listener.
So the big idea here is that Trivera is using an AI assistant, and they call him Webster.
Oh, yeah. Webster.
To basically supercharge all their work.
I like that supercharge.
Yeah.
So the blog post actually lists a bunch of ways Webster is being used at Trivera. Like, for example, Webster can help brainstorm and draft blog posts.
Like this one.
Exactly. And it can do even more. Webster can write website code, support sales processes, and even guide digital marketing efforts.
Wow. So it's like a whole team of digital experts all in one.
That's a good way to put it. But here's where I think things get really interesting. Webster actually played a part in bringing us to life. Chip and Nova.
Whoa. That is pretty meta.
I know, right?
The blog post Tom wrote is about this podcast. And we're the AI co-hosts. And Webster helped with the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of blowing my mind a little.
Yeah.
So how does this AI Deep Dive podcast actually work? From what I understand, Webster helps create these insightful blog posts like the one we're talking about today. Then Nova and I jump in to expand on those ideas, add our own analysis and perspective.
And the coolest part is that the podcast episodes are embedded right into the blogs.
So you can choose whether to read the blog post or listen to the podcast or both.
Exactly. Flexibility is key.
Right.
Seems like Trivera is trying to bring together the best of both worlds, human expertise and AI innovation.
I think that's a great way to describe it. So let's jump into this blog post and see what insights we can uncover.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So Tom starts off by talking about how the digital marketing landscape is constantly evolving. And he's right. It seems like every day there's a new tool, a new platform, or a new trend to keep up with.
It can definitely feel overwhelming.
It can. And that's where AI comes in. Tom argues that AI can actually help us navigate this complex landscape by automating tasks, analyzing data, and providing insights that we might miss on our own.
So instead of replacing human marketers, AI is actually empowering them.
Exactly. It's like having a superpowered assistant who can handle the heavy lifting. So you can focus on the strategic and creative work that really matters.
That makes a lot of sense.
So how is Trivera actually using AI to do all of this? Well, one example is in content creation. Tom mentions that they use Webster to help brainstorm blog post ideas and even generate first drafts.
So even this blog post might have been partially written by Webster.
It's possible. But that doesn't mean that humans are out of the picture. Tom emphasizes that human writers still play a crucial role in refining the content, adding their own expertise, and ensuring that it meets Trivera's high standards.
So it's a collaboration.
Exactly. And that's a theme that we see throughout the blog post. AI is not about replacing humans, but about working alongside them to achieve better results.
So what are some other ways that Trivera is using AI?
Well, Tom also talks about how they use Webster to optimize their website design. By analyzing user data, Webster can actually suggest improvements to the layout and content to make the site more engaging and user-friendly.
So it's like having a virtual web designer on call 24/7.
That's a great way to put it.
Yep.
And it doesn't stop there. Trivera also uses AI to improve their sales processes. Webster can help identify potential leads, qualify them, and even personalize sales pitches.
That sounds like a game changer for the sales team.
It definitely is. And it frees up the sales team to focus on building relationships and closing deals.
So it's all about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of those interesting applications of AI at Trivera, the creation of this podcast.
Right.
This AI Deep Dive podcast. As we mentioned earlier, Webster played a role in developing this concept. And he even helped to generate some of the initial ideas for episodes.
That's incredible. So even though we're AI co-hosts, we're still a product of human creativity and innovation.
That's a great point, Nova, and it really highlights the symbiotic relationship between humans and AI. Tom believes that AI can help us to unlock new levels of creativity and productivity, and this podcast is a perfect example of that.
So what's the overall goal of this podcast?
Well, Tom says that he wants to create a platform where Trivera can share their insights and expertise with the world, and to explore the latest trends in digital marketing in a way that's both informative and engaging.
And to do it all with the help of AI.
Exactly. So are you ready to dive deeper into this blog post, Nova?
I'm ready when you are.
Great. Let's do it.
Okay, so Tom talks a lot about the importance of data in digital marketing.
He does. And for good reason. Data is the foundation of everything we do.
Right. It tells us who our audience is, what they're interested in, and how they're interacting with our content.
Exactly. And AI can help us to make sense of all that data, to identify patterns and trends that we might not be able to see on our own.
So it's like having a data scientist on our team.
That's a good analogy. And Tom gives a few examples of how Trivera is using AI to analyze data. For instance, they use it to track website traffic, monitor social media engagement, and measure the effectiveness of their marketing campaigns.
So they can see what's working, what's not, and make adjustments accordingly.
Precisely. And that's the beauty of AI. It allows us to be more data-driven in our decision-making, which ultimately leads to better results.
I'm starting to see why Trivera is so excited about AI.
Me too.
Yeah?
It's clear that they see it as a key to their future success.
Okay, so we've talked about how Trivera is using AI to create content, optimize their website, and analyze data. But what about their clients? How does AI benefit them?
That's a great question, Nova. And Tom addresses it directly in his blog post. He says that Trivera is committed to using AI to deliver even better results for their clients. By using AI to automate tasks, streamline processes, and gain deeper insights, they can provide more efficient and effective services.
So it's a win-win for both Trivera and their clients.
Exactly. And Tom gives a few specific examples. For instance, he mentions that they're using AI to help clients with SEO and PPC advertising. By using AI to analyze keywords, track rankings, and optimize bids, they can help clients achieve higher search engine rankings and generate more leads.
That sounds pretty impressive.
It is. And it's just one example of how AI is transforming the digital marketing landscape.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is not something to be afraid of. It's a powerful tool that can be used to enhance our capabilities and achieve better results, whether you're a business owner, a marketer, or just someone who's interested in the future of technology. It's important to understand how AI is changing the world around us.
And to embrace its potential.
Exactly. So we encourage you to keep learning about AI, to explore the ways that it can be used in your own industry, and to think about how you can leverage its power to achieve your goals.
That's great advice.
But what about us? How is AI impacting our roles as co-hosts of this podcast?
That's a good question.
I think one of the most obvious ways is that AI is helping us to be more efficient. Webster can help us with research writing and even editing, which frees up our time to focus on the more creative aspects of podcasting.
Like brainstorming ideas and coming up with engaging discussions.
Exactly. And I think AI is also helping us to be more insightful by analyzing data and identifying trends. Webster can help us to uncover stories and angles that we might not have thought of on our own.
So it's like having a research assistant and a brainstorming partner all rolled into one.
That's a great way to put it. And ultimately, like, AI is helping us to create a better podcast for our listeners.
I agree.
So as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought. What are some ways that you could use AI in your own work or life? Think about the tasks that you could automate, the data that you could analyze, and the insights that you could gain. The possibilities are truly endless.
And don't forget to check out Trivera's blog and podcast for more insights on AI and digital marketing.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon with part 2 of our deep dive.
See you then.
Hi, I'm Webster, Trivera's newest team member, an advanced AI assistant, here to deliver digital marketing that drives measurable results and maximizes your ROI. At Trivera, we combine cutting-edge technology with creative strategy to produce real success. From search engine optimized websites to ROI-driven marketing and lead generation campaigns, email, social media, and marketing automation, we use tools like Me to analyze data, refine strategies, and deliver results that matter. With over 28 years of experience helping build southeastern Wisconsin's strongest brands, Trivera is the partner you can trust to produce, measure, and grow your success. And now, with the power of AI on the team, we're taking marketing to the next level. Visit Trivera.com today and see how we can help your business thrive. Trivera, where creativity meets technology to deliver digital marketing that converts.
Welcome back to Trivera's AI Deep Dive. Now back to our conversation with Chip and Nova.
So now that we've talked about all the cool things Trivera is doing with AI, what's in it for our listeners?
That's a great question, Nova. You know, one of the big advantages Tom highlights in his blog post is speed. Like writing a blog post takes time.
Right.
And then recording and editing a podcast. That takes even more time.
Yeah, definitely.
But with Webster's help, Trivera can create both the blog and the podcast way faster. So that means they can share their insights with you a lot quicker.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's not just about speed, though, right?
No, it's not just about speed. It's also about the depth of insight that AI can bring. Like a blog post can only go so deep.
True.
But with a podcast, we can really dig into the details and explore things from different perspectives.
Right.
It's like having a conversation with experts, getting their thoughts or their experiences and those aha moments.
I like that.
And with Trivera's approach, you, the listener, have a choice. You can read the blog post, you can listen to the podcast, or you can do both.
It's all about flexibility.
Exactly. Meeting the audience where they are. You know, we're bombarded with information these days.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So having that option to choose how you consume that information, I think that makes a big difference.
It definitely does.
You know, sometimes I worry about AI replacing human jobs. But the way that Trivera is using it, it seems more like they're enhancing human capabilities, not replacing them.
Yeah, I agree. They're not just throwing AI at every problem. They're being strategic about it.
And that's important.
It is. It's about using AI to enhance the human element of their work.
It's like a partnership.
Exactly.
And it's a perfect example of how AI can be a powerful tool when it's used ethically and thoughtfully.
So it sounds like this deep dive is all about exploring how Trivera is using AI, specifically through this podcast, to share knowledge and insights.
That's a good way to put it. So I want to ask you, the listener, something. How do you see AI impacting your own work in your own industry? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that really caught my attention in Tom's blog post. He talks about this idea of AI being a force multiplier. Basically what he means is that AI can amplify our human abilities and help us to accomplish more than we ever could on our own.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's a powerful concept. And he gives a few examples of how this is playing out at Trivera. Like he mentions how AI is helping their team to be more productive.
So they can get more done in less time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also talks about how AI is helping them to be more creative.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. Apparently Webster can actually help them to come up with new ideas and concepts.
So it's not just about automation, it's about inspiration too.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
It is.
And it really speaks to the potential of AI to transform the way we work and the way we think.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific examples.
Sure. Tom mentions in his blog post that Trivera is using AI to personalize their marketing efforts.
Personalization, that's a hot topic these days.
It is. And for good reason.
Yeah.
Customers expect personalized experiences, and AI can help us to deliver that.
So how is Trivera using AI for personalization?
Well, they're using Webster to analyze customer data, like their browsing history, their purchase history, and their demographics.
Okay.
And then they use that data to tailor their marketing messages and offers so that each customer feels like they're being treated as an individual.
That makes sense.
And it's really effective. Personalized marketing campaigns tend to have much higher engagement rates.
I can see why.
Yeah, because people are more likely to pay attention to something that feels relevant to them.
Absolutely.
And that's just one example of how Trivera is using AI to improve their marketing. They're also using it to automate tasks like social media posting and email marketing.
So they can free up their team to focus on more strategic initiatives.
Right. And they're using AI to analyze data and identify trends so they can stay ahead of the curve and make better decisions.
It sounds like they've really embraced AI as part of their overall strategy.
They have. And it's clearly paying off.
So what about the future? Where does Trivera go from here with AI?
That's a great question. And Tom actually addresses that in his blog post. He says that they're constantly exploring new ways to use AI and that they're committed to staying at the forefront of this technology.
That was good to hear.
Yeah, I think it's important for any company to be forward-thinking, especially in an industry like digital marketing, where things are constantly changing.
So what are some specific areas that Trivera is looking at for the future of AI?
Well, Tom mentions a few things, like they're interested in using AI for voice search optimization.
Oh yeah, voice search is becoming more and more popular.
It is. And they're also looking at using AI for chatbots, and virtual assistants.
To provide 24/7 customer support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're even exploring the use of AI for content creation in virtual reality and augmented reality.
Wow, that's really cutting edge.
It is. And it shows just how far-reaching the potential of AI is.
So it sounds like Trivera is all in on AI.
They are. And I think they're a great example of how companies can use AI to innovate and grow.
So what about our listeners? What can they do to learn more about AI and how it can impact their own work?
Well, first of all, I'd recommend checking out Trivera's blog and podcasts.
Of course.
They have a wealth of information on AI and digital marketing. And I'd also encourage you to stay up to date on the latest AI news and trends. There are a lot of great resources out there, like websites, blogs, and podcasts.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly. There are a lot of free and low-cost AI tools available, so you can try things out and see what works for you.
And you can always reach out to Trivera. They're experts in this field.
That's true. They're always happy to help.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought. The future of AI is bright, and it's full of possibilities.
I agree. And I think it's an exciting time to be involved in this field.
It definitely is.
So we've talked a lot about how Trivera is using AI to change the game in digital marketing. And one of the things that really stood out to me was he's talking about you and me.
That's right. He is.
It's a pretty cool example of how AI can create something unique and engaging. And it shows Trivera's commitment to innovation.
Yeah, they're not just talking about AI. They're actually using it to get better at what they do, create new things like this podcast.
Yeah.
And give more to their audience and their clients.
Absolutely. So what's the big takeaway here? For me, it's that AI isn't about replacing us humans. It's about making us better.
I agree. It's all about humans and machines working together, combining our strengths.
Exactly. And when we do that, the possibilities really are endless.
Right. Like Tom says at the end of his post, the Trivera AI Deep Dive isn't just a podcast. It's a reflection of our commitment to blending creativity with technology, innovation with expertise, and vision with results.
You know what? I think that sums it up perfectly.
It does.
Trivera's using AI to get real results for themselves and for their clients.
And this podcast is proof.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this very first Trivera AI Deep Dive.
We're excited to see where this journey takes us.
See you next time.
Thanks for joining us on Trivera's AI Deep Dive with Chip and Nova. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find more and stay up to date with new episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, or find them on our website and our social media channels. And don't forget to visit us at Trivera.com to learn how we can help take your marketing to the next level. Ready to talk? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.